Oh, since the dawn of time, humanity has sought to understand the world around us. This is a journey through time, exploring how everything began, how civilizations formed, and how major events shaped the course of history. From the Big Bang to the modern era, we will take you on an unforgettable journey through the history of the world. 13.8 billion years ago, the Big Bang occurred, marking the moment the universe began to take shape and expand. From that pivotal instant, matter and energy started spreading, forming elementary particles, then atoms, which eventually coalesced into cosmic gas and dust. Over time, gravity pulled these elements together, leading to the formation of the first stars and galaxies. Among these galaxies, our own Milky Way emerged, becoming the home of our solar system. Approximately 4.5 billion years ago, Earth formed from a swirling cloud of gas and dust orbiting the young sun. Initially, Earth was a molten, fiery mass, but as it cooled, a solid crust formed. Over millions of years, geological and chemical processes created the right conditions for life to emerge. Life on Earth began as simple single-celled organisms, such as bacteria and microbes, which evolved over billions of years into more complex forms. Around 230 million years ago, dinosaurs appeared and dominated the planet for about 165 million years, becoming the dominant vertebrates on land, in the seas, and in the skies. However, 66 million years ago, a massive asteroid struck Earth, causing catastrophic climate changes that led to the extinction of dinosaurs and many other species. This mass extinction event paved the way for mammals, which had until then been small and relatively insignificant creatures. From these humble beginnings, mammals evolved and diversified, eventually leading to the emergence of primates and, later, humans. This long journey of evolution, from the Big Bang to the formation of stars and galaxies, from the birth of Earth to the emergence and evolution of life, is the story that shaped our world as we know it today. Around 6 million years ago, the story of humanity began with the emergence of the first human-like creatures in Africa. These early ancestors, such as Sahelanthropus and Auroran, marked the beginning of a long evolutionary journey. Over millions of years, various hominid species appeared, including Australopithecus, which walked upright and laid the groundwork for the genus Homo. Around 2.8 million years ago, Homo habilis, one of the earliest members of the Homo genus, emerged. Known as the handyman, they were among the first to use stone tools, a significant step in human development. This was followed by the appearance of Homo erectus around 2 million years ago, who were the first to migrate out of Africa and spread across Eurasia. Homo erectus mastered the use of fire, a groundbreaking discovery that provided warmth, protection, and the ability to cook food, which likely contributed to brain development. By around 300,000 years ago, Homo sapiens, our direct ancestors, began to emerge in Africa. With larger brains and more advanced tools, they gradually replaced other hominid species, such as the Neanderthals in Europe and Homo floresiensis in Asia. Around 70,000 years ago, Homo sapiens began migrating out of Africa in waves, eventually populating every continent on Earth. The advent of agriculture around 10,000 years ago marked a turning point in human history. The domestication of plants and animals allowed humans to transition from nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyles to settled farming communities. This shift led to the establishment of permanent settlements, the growth of populations, and the development of complex societies. With surplus food production, humans could specialize in other tasks, leading to advancements in technology, art, and governance. The rise of agriculture also laid the foundation for the first civilizations, such as those in Mesopotamia, the Indus Valley, Egypt, and China. These early civilizations developed writing systems, built monumental architecture, and created organized systems of law and religion. Over time, human societies continued to evolve, driven by innovation, exploration, and cultural exchange, shaping the world we live in today. These early civilizations, Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Indus Valley, and China, each made unique and enduring contributions to human history. They pioneered writing, governance, architecture, and technology, setting the stage for the development of complex societies and shaping the course of human civilization. In Mesopotamia, often referred to as the cradle of civilization, the first human civilizations emerged around 3500 BCE. The Sumerians were among the earliest to establish city-states such as Uruk, Ur, and Eridu. They developed cuneiform, one of the world's first writing systems, which allowed for record-keeping, literature, and the codification of laws. The Sumerians also made significant advancements in mathematics, astronomy, and architecture. Following them, the Babylonians rose to power, with King Hammurabi creating one of the earliest known legal codes, the Code of Hammurabi. Later, the Assyrians built a powerful empire known for its military prowess and monumental palaces, further contributing to the region's rich cultural and political legacy. In Egypt, along the fertile banks of the Nile River, an extraordinary civilization flourished around 3100 BCE. The ancient Egyptians are renowned for their monumental architecture, particularly the pyramids, which were built as tombs for pharaohs and stand as a testament to their engineering ingenuity and knowledge of mathematics and astronomy. The Great Pyramid of Giza, constructed during the reign of Pharaoh Khufu, remains one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Egyptian society was deeply religious, with a complex pantheon of gods and a belief in the afterlife, which influenced their art, culture, and daily life. They also developed hieroglyphic writing, papyrus, and advanced medical practices. In the Indus Valley, an advanced civilization thrived around 2600 BCE, covering much of modern-day Pakistan and northwest India. Known for its remarkable urban planning, the Indus Valley civilization featured well-organized cities such as Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. These cities had grid-like street layouts, sophisticated drainage systems, and standardized brick sizes, reflecting a high level of engineering and administrative skill. The civilization also engaged in extensive trade, both within the region and with Mesopotamia, and produced intricate art and seals. Despite its achievements, the Indus Valley civilization declined around 1900 BCE, leaving behind many mysteries about its language and governance. In China, the foundations of one of the world's oldest continuous civilizations were laid around 2100 BCE with the rise of the Xia dynasty, followed by the Shang and Zhou dynasties. The Shang dynasty, 1600 to 1046 BCE, is particularly noted for its development of Chinese writing, using oracle bones for divination and record-keeping. The Zhou dynasty, 1046 to 256 BCE, introduced the concept of the mandate of heaven, which justified the rule of kings and became a central tenet of Chinese political philosophy. Early Chinese civilizations made significant contributions to agriculture, metallurgy, and art, laying the groundwork for the rich cultural traditions that continue to define China today. However, the fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 CE, due to a combination of internal decay and external invasions, marked the end of ancient antiquity and the beginning of the Middle Ages in Europe. The collapse of centralized authority led to the fragmentation of the empire into smaller kingdoms and the rise of feudalism. Despite its fall, Rome's legacy endured. Roman law, language, Latin, and cultural achievements continued to shape European society, and the Eastern Roman Empire, or Byzantine Empire, preserved and transmitted classical knowledge for centuries. The contributions of Greece and Rome, philosophy, democracy, law, architecture, and governance remain cornerstones of Western civilization. Their ideas and achievements not only defined their own eras but also laid the foundation for the development of modern thought, culture, and institutions. In ancient Greece, around the 5th century BCE, the foundations of Western philosophy and democracy were established, marking a transformative period in human thought and governance. The city-state of Athens became the birthplace of democracy, where citizens participated in decision-making, laying the groundwork for modern democratic systems. This era also saw the rise of some of history's greatest thinkers. Socrates, known for his method of questioning, encouraged critical thinking and self-examination. His student Plato founded the academy and explored ideas about justice, governance, and the nature of reality in works like the Republic. Aristotle, Plato's student, further expanded on these ideas, contributing to fields such as logic, ethics, and natural sciences. Together, these philosophers shaped the intellectual traditions that would influence Western civilization for millennia. Meanwhile, in Rome, the Roman Republic and later the Roman Empire, beginning around 27 BCE, became one of the most powerful and expansive civilizations in history. At its height, the Roman Empire stretched from Britain in the northwest to the Middle East in the southeast, encompassing diverse cultures and peoples. Roman law, exemplified by the 12 Tables and later the Justinian Code, established principles of justice and governance that continue to influence legal systems today. Roman engineering and architecture were equally groundbreaking, with achievements such as aqueducts, roads, and monumental structures like the Colosseum and the Pantheon. These innovations not only facilitated the empire's administration, but also left a lasting legacy on urban planning and construction. Rome was not only a center of political power, but also a hub of culture, art, and literature. Writers like Virgil, Ovid, and Cicero contributed to the rich literary tradition, while Roman art and sculpture reflected both realism and idealism. The empire's ability to assimilate and adapt ideas from conquered territories, such as Greece, Egypt, and Persia, enriched its cultural and intellectual life. In the Americas, the Maya and Aztec civilizations built impressive societies characterized by monumental architecture, complex calendars, and sophisticated systems of writing and mathematics. The Maya, who flourished in present-day Mexico and Central America from around 2000 BCE to the 16th century CE, constructed towering pyramids, such as those at Tikal and Chichen Itza, and developed a highly accurate calendar system. They also made significant contributions to astronomy and mathematics, including the concept of zero. The Aztecs, who rose to power in the 14th century in central Mexico, built their capital, Tenochtitlan, on an island in Lake Texcoco. Known for its grand temples, such as the Templo Mayor and intricate aqueducts and causeways, Tenochtitlan was one of the largest and most impressive cities of its time. While Europe was in the midst of the Dark Ages, these civilizations, Islamic, Chinese, and Mesoamerican, were thriving and making groundbreaking contributions to human knowledge and culture. Their achievements not only shaped their own regions but also had a lasting impact on the world, demonstrating that progress and innovation continued to flourish even during Europe's period of decline. This era highlights the interconnectedness of human history and the diverse ways in which civilizations have advanced and influenced one another. With the fall of the Western Roman Empire in 476 CE, Europe entered a period often referred to as the Dark Ages, characterized by political fragmentation, economic decline, and limited cultural and scientific advancement. During this time, much of Europe was divided into small feudal kingdoms, and the centralized governance and infrastructure of the Roman Empire were largely lost. However, while Europe experienced this period of stagnation, other parts of the world saw remarkable progress and cultural flourishing. In the Islamic world, particularly during the Islamic Golden Age, 8th to 13th centuries. Civilizations thrived and became centers of learning, science, and culture. Baghdad, the capital of the Abbasid Caliphate, emerged as a major hub of intellectual activity. The House of Wisdom, Beit al-Hikmah, established in Baghdad, was a renowned center where scholars from diverse backgrounds translated and preserved the works of ancient Greek, Roman, Persian, and Indian thinkers. These translations not only saved classical knowledge from being lost, but also expanded upon it, leading to advancements in fields such as mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy. Figures like Al-Khwarizmi, who pioneered algebra, and Ibn Sina, Avicenna, whose medical texts were used for centuries, exemplify the era's intellectual achievements. Meanwhile, in China, the Tang, 618 to 907 CE, and Song, 960 to 1279 CE, dynasties were periods of immense innovation and cultural development. During this time, the Chinese invented gunpowder, which would later revolutionize warfare and technology worldwide. They also developed woodblock printing and later movable type printing, pioneered by Shang, which transformed the spread of knowledge and literacy. These inventions, along with advancements in agriculture, engineering, and governance, solidified China's status as one of the most advanced civilizations of its time. A key catalyst for the spread of Renaissance ideas was the invention of the printing press by Johannes Gutenberg around 1440. This revolutionary technology allowed for the mass production of books and other written materials, making knowledge more accessible than ever before. The printing press facilitated the dissemination of classical texts, scientific discoveries, and new ideas, accelerating the pace of intellectual and cultural exchange across Europe. The Renaissance also set the stage for the scientific revolution of the 16th and 17th centuries. Thinkers like Nicholas Copernicus, who proposed the heliocentric theory, and Isaac Newton, who formulated the laws of motion and universal gravitation, built on the foundations laid during the Renaissance. This period saw a shift from reliance on ancient authorities to empirical observation and experimentation, fundamentally changing the way humans understood the natural world. In addition to scientific and artistic achievements, the Renaissance had a profound impact on philosophy, literature, and politics. Humanist thinkers like Erasmus and Thomas More emphasized the value of education, critical thinking, and the potential for human improvement. The era also saw the rise of powerful city-states like Florence and Venice, which became centers of art, commerce, and political innovation. The Renaissance was a transformative period that bridged the Middle Ages and the modern era. Its emphasis on human potential, the rediscovery of classical knowledge, and the explosion of creativity in the arts and sciences paved the way for the Enlightenment and the continued advancement of human civilization. The legacy of the Renaissance continues to influence our world today, reminding us of the power of curiosity, innovation, and the pursuit of knowledge. In Europe, the Renaissance, which began in the 14th century and reached its peak in the 15th and 16th centuries, marked a profound cultural and intellectual rebirth. This period saw a renewed interest in the classical knowledge of ancient Greece and Rome, which had been preserved and expanded upon by Islamic scholars during the Middle Ages. The Renaissance was characterized by a spirit of curiosity, innovation, and humanism, emphasizing the potential and achievements of individuals. Art and science flourished during this time, with figures like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, and Galileo Galilei leading the way. Leonardo da Vinci, often described as the quintessential Renaissance man, was a painter, scientist, engineer, and inventor whose works, such as the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, remain iconic. His detailed anatomical sketches and visionary designs for machines demonstrated a deep understanding of both art and science. Michelangelo, another towering figure of the Renaissance, created masterpieces like the Statue of David and the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, showcasing his extraordinary skill and creativity. In the realm of science, Galileo Galilei made groundbreaking contributions to physics, astronomy, and the scientific method. His use of the telescope to observe celestial bodies provided evidence for the heliocentric model of the solar system, challenging the geocentric views that had dominated for centuries. Galileo's work laid the foundation for modern astronomy and physics, though it also brought him into conflict with the Catholic Church. However, the age of exploration also had devastating consequences. The colonization of the Americas, Africa, and Asia led to the exploitation and displacement of indigenous peoples. European settlers often imposed their cultures, religions, and systems of governance on native populations, leading to the destruction of local traditions and societies. In the Americas, diseases brought by Europeans, such as smallpox, decimated indigenous populations who had no immunity to these illnesses. One of the most tragic legacies of this era was the transatlantic slave trade, which began in the 15th century and continued for over 400 years. Millions of Africans were forcibly taken from their homes, transported across the Atlantic under horrific conditions, and enslaved in the Americas to work on plantations, in mines, and in other labor-intensive industries. This system of slavery not only caused immense suffering but also entrenched racial hierarchies and inequalities that persist to this day. The Age of Exploration was a period of remarkable human achievement and discovery, but it was also marked by exploitation, violence, and injustice. It connected the world in unprecedented ways, laying the groundwork for the modern globalized era, but it also left a legacy of colonialism, slavery, and cultural disruption that continues to shape societies and relationships between nations. Understanding this complex history is essential for addressing its lasting impacts and building a more equitable future. In the 15th century, the Age of Exploration began, marking a transformative period in global history. Driven by a desire for new trade routes, wealth, and the spread of religion, European explorers set out to chart unknown territories and connect distant parts of the world. Figures like Christopher Columbus, Ferdinand Magellan, and Vasco da Gama became iconic for their daring voyages, which expanded European horizons and reshaped global trade and cultural exchange. Christopher Columbus, sailing under the Spanish flag in 1492, sought a westward route to Asia but instead encountered the Americas, opening the door to European exploration and colonization of the New World. Ferdinand Magellan, though he did not complete the journey himself, organized the first expedition to circumnavigate the globe, 1519 to 1522, proving that the Earth was interconnected by navigable seas. Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese explorer, reached India by sea in 1498, establishing a direct maritime route to Asia and bypassing the overland Silk Road, which had been dominated by Middle Eastern and Central Asian traders. These explorations led to the establishment of vast colonial empires, particularly by Spain and Portugal, followed by other European powers like England, France, and the Netherlands. The exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures between the Eastern and Western hemispheres, known as the Columbian Exchange, had profound effects on both sides of the Atlantic. Crops like potatoes, tomatoes, and maize were introduced to Europe, while wheat, horses, and firearms were brought to the Americas. This exchange transformed diets, economies, and societies worldwide. These injustices sparked the rise of labor movements and social reform efforts. Workers began to organize themselves into unions to demand better wages, shorter working hours, and safer conditions. Strikes and protests became common as laborers fought for their rights. Influential thinkers like Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels critiqued the capitalist system, advocating for workers' rights and inspiring movements for social and economic equality. In response to growing unrest, governments gradually introduced labor laws and reforms to address some of the worst abuses. The Factory Acts in Britain, for example, began to regulate working hours and conditions, particularly for women and children. Over time, these efforts led to the establishment of labor rights, social welfare systems, and the recognition of workers' contributions to society. The Industrial Revolution was a double-edged sword. It brought unprecedented technological advancements and economic growth, but it also exposed deep inequalities and spurred social upheaval. Its legacy is a reminder of the need to balance progress with fairness and to ensure that the benefits of innovation are shared equitably. The labor movements that emerged during this period laid the groundwork for modern workers' rights and continue to influence debates about labor and social justice today. In the 18th century, the Industrial Revolution began in Britain, marking one of the most profound transformations in human history. This period saw the shift from agrarian, handcraft-based economies to industrialized, machine-driven production, fundamentally altering the way people lived and worked. The invention of the steam engine by James Watt in the late 18th century was a cornerstone of this revolution, providing a reliable source of power for factories, transportation, and machinery. Factories sprang up, particularly in textiles, iron, and coal mining, leading to mass production and the growth of urban centers. The development of railways and steamships revolutionized transportation, enabling faster movement of goods and people and connecting distant regions like never before. This not only boosted trade and economic growth, but also facilitated cultural exchange and the spread of ideas. The Industrial Revolution spread from Britain to Europe, North America, and eventually the rest of the world, laying the foundation for modern industrialized societies. However, this period of rapid progress also brought significant social and economic challenges. The rise of factories and urbanization led to harsh working conditions, particularly for the working class. Men, women, and even children often labored for long hours in dangerous environments, with little pay and no job security. Exploitation was rampant, and living conditions in overcrowded industrial cities were often squalid, with poor sanitation and limited access to clean water or health care. The 20th century also witnessed some of the darkest chapters in human history, including genocides and mass atrocities. The Holocaust, perpetrated by Nazi Germany, systematically murdered 6 million Jews and millions of others, including Romani people, disabled individuals, and political dissidents. Other genocides, such as the Armenian genocide during World War I, the Cambodian genocide under the Khmer Rouge, and the Rwandan genocide in 1994, underscored the capacity for inhumanity and the failure of the international community to prevent such atrocities. Amidst these challenges, the latter half of the century saw the rise of the information revolution, driven by the invention of computers and the internet. This technological leap transformed communication, commerce, and daily life, ushering in the digital age and connecting people across the globe in unprecedented ways. The information revolution also democratized knowledge and empowered individuals, though it brought new challenges, such as privacy concerns and digital inequality. The 20th century was a time of immense progress and profound tragedy. It demonstrated humanity's capacity for both innovation and destruction, leaving a complex legacy that continues to shape the 21st century. From the ashes of world wars and genocides emerged movements for human rights, international cooperation, and technological advancement, reminding us of the resilience and potential of humanity in the face of adversity. The 20th century was a century of extraordinary contrasts, marked by groundbreaking achievements and devastating conflicts that reshaped the world. It began with rapid technological advancements, such as the invention of the airplane by the Wright brothers in 1903, which revolutionized transportation and connected the world in ways previously unimaginable. Later, in 1969, humanity reached another milestone with the Apollo 11 moon landing, a testament to human ingenuity and the spirit of exploration. These achievements symbolized the potential for progress and collaboration on a global scale. However, the 20th century was also defined by unprecedented violence and upheaval. Two world wars devastated entire nations and claimed millions of lives. World War I, 1914 to 1918, introduced modern warfare with trench warfare, chemical weapons, and massive casualties. World War II, 1939 to 1945, was even more catastrophic, involving nearly every part of the globe and resulting in the Holocaust, the use of atomic bombs, and an estimated 70 to 85 million deaths. These conflicts not only caused immense suffering but also reshaped political boundaries, leading to the decline of colonial empires and the rise of new superpowers. The aftermath of World War II saw the beginning of the Cold War, a decades-long geopolitical struggle between the United States and its allies and the Soviet Union and its satellite states. This period was characterized by nuclear arms races, proxy wars, and ideological battles between capitalism and communism. The Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962 brought the world to the brink of nuclear war, while conflicts like the Korean War and the Vietnam War highlighted the global reach of this rivalry. The Cold War also spurred technological competition, most notably the space race, which culminated in the moon landing. Inequality remains another critical challenge. Despite technological progress, economic and social disparities persist within and between nations. Wealth inequality, access to education and healthcare, and systemic discrimination continue to affect billions of people worldwide. The digital divide, where access to technology and the internet is uneven, exacerbates these inequalities, leaving many communities behind in the rapidly evolving global economy. Moreover, the rapid pace of technological change raises ethical and societal questions. Issues such as data privacy, the impact of automation on jobs, and the potential misuse of AI highlight the need for thoughtful regulation and responsible innovation. Balancing progress with ethical considerations is essential to ensure that technology benefits all of humanity. In this age of technology, we have the tools and knowledge to address these challenges, but doing so requires collective action, empathy, and a long-term vision. By harnessing innovation responsibly and prioritizing sustainability and equity, we can build a future that reflects the best of human potential. A future where technology serves as a force for good, empowering people and protecting the planet. Today, we live in an era defined by rapid technological advancement, often referred to as the digital age or the information age. The internet, which became widely accessible in the late 20th century, has transformed nearly every aspect of our lives. It has revolutionized communication, allowing people to connect instantly across the globe, and has reshaped industries, from commerce and education to entertainment and healthcare. The rise of artificial intelligence, AI, is another milestone, enabling machines to perform tasks that once required human intelligence, such as language translation, medical diagnosis, and even creative endeavors like art and music. AI is driving innovation in fields like autonomous vehicles, robotics, and data analysis, promising to further transform how we live and work. Space exploration has also entered a new chapter, with both government agencies and private companies pushing the boundaries of what is possible. Missions to Mars, the development of reusable rockets by companies like SpaceX, and plans for lunar bases are reigniting humanity's ambition to explore and potentially colonize other worlds. These efforts not only expand our scientific knowledge, but also inspire a sense of wonder and possibility for the future. However, alongside these remarkable achievements, significant challenges persist. Climate change is one of the most pressing issues of our time, driven by human activities such as burning fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial agriculture. The consequences: rising global temperatures, melting ice caps, extreme weather events, and loss of biodiversity threaten ecosystems, economies, and the well-being of future generations. Addressing climate change requires global cooperation, innovative solutions, and a commitment to sustainable practices. A journey through the history of the world is a powerful reminder that we are all part of an interconnected and ongoing story. From the dawn of humanity to the present day, every event, every discovery, and every individual has played a role in shaping the world we inhabit. The triumphs and tragedies of the past, whether the rise of civilizations, the struggles for freedom and equality, or the leaps in science and technology, have all contributed to the complex tapestry of human history. This perspective invites us to reflect on our own role in this grand narrative. The choices we make today, how we address global challenges like climate change, inequality, and technological ethics, will determine the legacy we leave for future generations. Will we be remembered as the generation that prioritized short-term gains over long-term sustainability? Or will we rise to the occasion, using our knowledge, resources, and creativity to build a more just, equitable, and thriving world? The story we write for future generations will depend on our ability to learn from the past, embrace collaboration, and act with foresight and compassion. It will require us to balance innovation with responsibility, progress with preservation, and ambition with humility. By working together across borders, cultures, and disciplines, we can tackle the pressing issues of our time and create a world where everyone has the opportunity to flourish. Ultimately, history is not just a record of what has been, it is a call to action for what can be. It reminds us that we are both the inheritors of the past and the architects of the future. The story we write today will shape the lives of those who come after us, just as the stories of those who came before have shaped ours. Let us strive to make it a story of hope, resilience, and shared humanity, one that future generations will look back on with pride and gratitude.